This is an attempt to demonstrate the three operating modes of the American Flyer Y3 locomotive with the DCC upgrade. It will operate as soon as the upgrade has been installed, it will operate on either AC, DC, DCC, or TMCC legacy. So there's actually 4 modes, but I'm only going to do 3. The first one is DC. I'm actually running off of a American Flyer 30B transformer, and I have a Tony's train exchange meter down here, this railroad amp meter, that gives the voltage. It's currently 4.3 volts DC, and the DC is unfiltered from the 30B. So I have a bridge rectifier in the 30B to convert it to DC, but it's actually pulsating DC at 120 hertz. Without the upgrade, that does not work successfully for DC. You need a more filtered DC. But with the upgrade, it's been changed so that the locomotive can deal with the unfiltered. So I'll crank this up to about 6 volts. Sometimes when I do this, my voltage goes up and down a little bit. My transformer is old, so I've actually got it sitting at about 8 volts right now, but it started at 6. The headlight comes on, and I believe the marker lights are on, although you can't see them with a bright light. And the cab light is on. In fact, maybe I'll shut the light off and you can actually see some of that. Still not all that easy to see. Let me start running it. So when you start to move, the headlight goes on and the cab light goes off. When it stops, the cab light goes back on. I think you could see that okay. And the firebox flicker works okay. So the headlight is on dim right now. When I give it a little bit more voltage, it looks like about 9 volts, it actually starts to move. The chuff works in DC mode, but there's no way to signal for the bell or the whistle. So you just get the automatic sound. That's running about 12 volts right now. As you can see, it's zipping right along at a pretty good rate. It doesn't start moving until close to 9 volts because of the electronics. The electronics start at about 6.5. So there it is, coming to a stop. The cab light comes back on, and you could probably hear the brake squeal as it stops. To reverse it, there's a reversing switch on my transformer, so I'll just flip that. Now if I supply power, it goes backwards. And when it goes backwards, the reverse light on the tender is on. I will reverse the polarity again. Sorry, I hit my switch too slowly, so the lights went off. But if you switch it quickly, the polarity will change and the sound will not stop, or the lights won't go off. You can see again the headlight gets brighter. It will actually run pretty slowly. So that's 9.4 volts. Reverse again. Okay, so that's the DC part of it. Set up for TMCC. I have selected it as engine 1, and I can hit the startup button. Right now it's sitting with no sound, and no lights. We have 15.7 volts on the track. So if I press start up, you can see there's now smoke coming out of it. The cab light went on and the headlight went on and dim. If I start to move forward, the cab light will go off and the headlight will go to bright. So hopefully you were able to see that. If I reverse, you'll hear the sound of the reverser and the rear light will go on, which you won't be able to see because of the location we're in. And then I can start backing up. As you can see, it smokes quite well, and it will go pretty slowly in all directions, both directions. Whistle and bell. It does have crew talk in TMCC.
Dispatcher, all handbrakes are knocked off. Am I clear? Over. Roger that. Take the green. Over. Copy that. I got a clear signal. Out.
I'll go into reverse just to demonstrate the rear light. And back to forward. And then shut down.
See you next trip. Out.
And finally, DCC. I haven't touched the locomotive for any of these tests. I've just changed the power source. So right now I'm running DCC on my lens system. I'll shut off the light here for a second so you can hopefully see the lights. The lights work the same as with TMCC, and in fact the same as in DC. The marker lights are on. I don't know if you can, how well you can see these. I'm trying to do everything with one hand, so it's a little tricky here. So the marker lights are on and the headlight is on dim. And when we start to move, the headlight goes bright. Meanwhile, the cab light is on when we're stopped. and when we start it goes out. Comes back on when we stop. And of course the rear light goes on and off based on direction. And the lights can all be turned on and off from DCC. The smoke can be turned on and off. Right now obviously it's on. And I can shut it off and turn it back on again. The fan runs at a lower speed and the heat on the heater is turned down when it's stopped. But you do still get some nice smoke, and then as you start to move it will puff in pretty good shape. Can't see it so easily behind the caboose there. There's a special mode that works in both DCC and TMCC, which is called a start sequence, I believe. You turn it on by doing F10. Yeah, it gives a signal by the couple of rings of the bell and the toot. And now when you go to speed step 1, instead of it moving out, it will do a start signal and turn on the bell, and then you can go to speed step 2 to start moving. So I won't...
We got your signal. Cleared outbound. Over. Roger that. Out.
Plus it does that train talk. So I won't touch any sound keys. I'll just go to speed step 1. Now I'll go to speed step 2. Start to move out.
We're moving. Over. Roger that. Keep rolling. Out.
And then I can turn off the bell. So that wouldn't be much fun if you were switching, but it is kind of fun to use as a mainline train sometimes. I forgot to mention that on TMCC there is an automatic coupler at the rear of the tender that you can operate from TMCC. That does not operate in either DC or DCC. Also, you can do the crew talk from the TMC controller. In DCC, the only crew talk is when you do startup, shutdown, or you run that sequence mode. So I'll do the shutdown now.
See you next trip. Out.
So that's it. It really seems to run very, very well in all three modes, and you don't have to do anything to switch from one to the other. It just senses what's on the track and does the right thing. I think Lionel did a great job with this upgrade, and I thank Jon Zahornacky from Lionel for sending me the firmware so I could do the upgrade.